Well, now it's time for what Rowan Dean likes to call the world's gone mad. The Gaza war's been going on for 622 days and the fighting continues with no sign of abating. World leaders have tried diplomacy, sanctions have been imposed, court orders have been issued, and yet the conflict carries on. But wait a second. What if 4,000 Western activists, high on moral outrage and low on geopolitical understanding, showed up in Gaza to highlight the plight of the Palestinians and their misunderstood Hamas overlords? Sounds like a plan. And so the Global March for Gaza arrived at Egypt's border this week, expecting applause and maybe a Hamas platter as they strolled on into Gaza to bring peace, armed with nothing but selfie sticks. Instead, they were greeted at the Egyptian border by riot police saying more or less, nah.
I'm on the Global March to Gaza in Egypt. We were stopped at a checkpoint. They took our passports. They've detained us. I'm going to show you. They put us in a barrier like animals. Look how they've locked us in. They've locked us all in.
Apparently, Cairo had the audacity to do what every nation has the right and obligation to do, protect its borders and prevent a foreign-fuelled PR circus from marching into a war zone. Egypt, unlike your local Western university, understands what happens when a mob of ideologically possessed simpletons play revolutionary dress-ups near a terror-controlled enclave.
For the love of humanity and for the love of Islam, please don't do this. Allow us to march to Gaza.
The global activists were left dumbfounded. If visas were granted based on emotions, and they should be, why can't you let us into Gaza?
We're peaceful people, we're good people, we're Muslims, we're Christians, we're atheists, we're Jews. We are humanity.
Wait, let us into Gaza because some of us are Jews? That's like demanding to skydive into a volcano to protest against climate change. But wait, the Global March for Gaza participants aren't all Jews. Some are Christians and others don't believe in Allah at all. So let us into a radical Islamic terror camp, would you?
We are here for humanity. What are you here for? You don't have to do this. You don't have to follow the orders.
What are the soldiers there for? They're there to save these protesters' lives. Because if they don't stop your whiny backside at the border today, they'll be fetching your rotting corpse from a Gazan tunnel tomorrow.
Please, I'll go onto my knees and I will beg you. Allow us to march to Palestine.
Oh, well, if you're getting on your knees. But this guy was not the most pathetic. Have a listen to the American protester who comes up with a slam-dunk argument as to why they should be allowed to visit their Hamas buddies in Gaza.
Your message has been already received, and you can go back and turn back to Cairo. We're supposed to arrange all of that.
We could do it in America.
Okay.
Why can't we do it here?
What are you doing here?
But we can do it in America. Now, that'd be a great argument from Zen McWokeface, I believe that was his name, if it weren't for the fact he's in Egypt. Perhaps the most truthful of the Global March for Gaza participants was this dear old lady.
I've come to sightsee. It's my first time here, and I want to see Egypt, and I'm not being allowed to do that, which it's very oppressive.
Well, ain't that the modern left's definition of oppression, being prevented from sightseeing at your own beheading? The peaceniks were eventually put on a bus and driven away as they yelled, F Egypt, still clueless as to why it wasn't a great idea to walk across the desert into a war zone. By the way, it strikes me as odd that these peace activists didn't ask if any of the Jewish hostages in Gaza could accompany them on the bus back to where they'd come from. Turns out they weren't campaigners for humanity after all. They were just a bunch of campaigners. Speaking of campaigners, our great friend Whoopi Goldberg, who went from starring in a movie called Ghost to ghosting Logic and Reason on The View, had this take on why we can't be too upset about the Iranians' habit of, killing gays.
But let's just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
Where the Iranian regime is today in 2025 is nothing compared to the United States.
Keep hanging black people.
Yeah, the Islamic Republic of Iran sanctions the killing of gays. The United States of America does not. Oh, and another thing, nothing says I support gay people, like refusing to speak about actual gay rights abuses in other countries.
I think it's important we remember there are places much darker than this country and people who deserve rights.
Not everybody feels that way. Not everybody feels that way. Listen, I'm sorry. You know, when you think about the fact that we got the vote in 1965.
Okay, they don't have free and fair elections in Iran. It's not even the same universe.
They can't go out of their house. The women.
You know what? There's no way I can make you understand.
Well, there's no way the millionaire victim can make anyone understand her point, because her point is so ridiculous. Because blacks in America have only been able to vote in free and fair elections for the past 60 years, they're worse off than Iranians who don't have free and fair elections at all. Right. I'll personally sponsor Whoopi's trip to Iran to test the theory. Whoopi's take is a slap in the face to real victims of tyranny. It's not just ignorant, it's insulting. Only in America can someone say that on national TV and still be hailed as oppressed. Tucker Carlson's interview with Ted Cruz annoyed me.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah,
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and
What percent?
predominantly Shia. Okay,
it's not even... You don't know anything about Iran.
What, so you can't have an opinion about foreign policy unless you know the census data of the country that's trying to kill you? Is it bad that Iranian politicians are burning the US flag and shouting death to America? Honestly, I don't know how many green bicycles are in Iran, so I couldn't say. And there was this exchange.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. But so you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused.
Right, so you can't have beliefs unless you can cite chapter and verse at the drop of a hat. They were cute gotcha questions, but if that's the level of debate, God help us. It says that in the Bible somewhere.